What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's major time, which means we've got PICKEMS to do. I've not done PICKEMS videos in the past, but I figure I do fantasy, which is all about predictions, so why wouldn't I do PICKEMS? And I've got a pretty good track record with PICKEMS. I think in every single major I've played, I've gotten through the opening and elimination stages very cleanly, so if you stick with me, you got some good advice coming your way. Let's just dive straight in. First up, I think that it goes without saying that Lin Vision and Legacy are going to be the two teams that most people are going to have as their O3, and it makes sense. Lin Vision, despite making it through the Asian RMR, didn't look that great. I think it was more that Greyhound were really poor, and that allowed Lin Vision to make their way through. I also think that every time Lin Vision have played internationally, it's not been great, so I'm not very keen on them here, and most people aren't. And then Legacy, also, again, a team that just scraped through the Americas RMR. They're the weakest team here in terms of the Americas, I feel, and I don't expect them to really achieve much here. I think if you've got both in the O3, you're guaranteed to get at least one, so it feels pretty good to go these two. For the 3Os, I'm also going to be keeping it pretty boring, but bear with me because I promise you, my advancing choices are interesting. We're going to go Cloud9 and we're going to go Eternal Fire. These make sense. There are teams that most people have, and again, it's because they've got the number 1 and number 2 seeding. They're not going to play each other during their run here if they're going for the 3Os. There's just no chance of that happening, so it feels pretty good. Plus, their form recently has been good enough that we expect them to go through. Their opening matches favor them. Feels like these two make the most sense to go 3-0, and you're probably guaranteed to get at least one. The only team that I think you could maybe make an argument for over potentially Cloud9 would be Heroic. The only reason I wouldn't is that Cloud9 wiped the floor with Heroic back in January, and Heroic's recent results have been very up and down, so I'm not 100% sold on them, going 3-0 despite looking decent at times. I think that they're just a little bit too inconsistent, but I definitely have them advancing. You're crazy if you don't have Heroic advancing just on name value alone. I think ENCE is another one which we should be pretty confident they get through to the elimination stage. I don't think they make it to playoffs, but elimination we should be pretty confident in just purely on how they've been playing lately. The 9 core they have are very good. Glave's been calling quite well, I feel, and honestly is in fragging pretty decent, so it feels like the floor is relatively high on this team, and again, it should be enough to push them through. I think another team that I feel similarly about is Apex. Despite maybe being a little bit more inconsistent at times, I think with Nork and Jacob playing the way they are at the moment, that should be enough alone to get them through. I think Steeko has been really great since coming back into the team to kind of fill that 5th spot that they had available. I'm not sure about Sense calling at this level, but honestly, it's been enough to get them through. And I think that's going to be the same stage here with the sort of competition that they're playing against. A team that I think a lot of people are going to have going through, that I don't have going through, is Furia. I just have not been impressed by this team. Yes, they did quite well at the Americas RMR. They went through 3-0, but I don't think it was the best. It was just their opponents, again, were not that great. I'm quite low on South America here. I know for the America's RMR fantasy video I did that I was big up on South America, and yeah, they absolutely blitzed that RMR. But that's not going to be the case here. I think that the teams that they've been playing just are not good enough. They've just been looking good against worse teams. And I don't think Furia make it. I think that their hearts are going to be broken. And the teams that are going to do it, one's going to be Soar. I think that Soar are kind of at that moment, that kind of peak momentum, right? Coming off that showdown result, all of their recent performances at the RMRs as well. I'm big up on this team. I've been following them since the For the Win core all the way back like 2 years ago. I think there's a lot of talent here. It's great that Portugal's got a team to cheer for now. So I'm big on Soar. I think they go through. And I think that a team that will break the hearts of South America once again, it's going to be the Mongols. And another reason I'm picking them is anytime you've seen, if I've posted my pickings before, if you've seen, I always have Greyhound going through. It's stupid, I know, but I'm an Australian. I got to pick Greyhound. It's how we do it. Greyhound obviously aren't here. I'm heartbroken about it, and that means I have to support another team from the region to do the run. And Mongols, well, they're a better team than Greyhound, so it's kind of a win-win for me. Also, I think if Mongols go through, and I could be wrong, but I think if they get to the elimination stage, it means we get another spot at the Asia Pacific RMR, which is a huge win for the region. So for that reason, I'm rooting for them. And I think they're definitely going to be a team that upsets a lot of favorite teams. I can definitely see them being in an Imperial or Furia if that matchup happens. Leaves us with one final spot. And this is maybe my spiciest take, but I'm not putting Imperial, I'm not putting Furia, I'm not putting 9 Pandas or Amcal. I'm going ecstatic. I rate this team. I know they don't have maybe the star power of some of the other teams here, but it doesn't matter if they lose to a Heroic or Cloud9. That's not who we're worried about. We're looking at the other teams that are left that they could be playing in that 2-2 bracket. And I honestly think Ecstatic beat a Furia. I think they can beat a 9Pandas. I think they beat an Amcol, a Koi. I feel good about Ecstatic here, not to mention the Danish buff. It's a Copenhagen major. It would mean so much to them if they could get onto the main stage. I don't know, I'm kind of big on Ecstatic here as my dark horse, so to speak. I think a lot of people slept on them during the RMRs, and I imagine that's going to be the case here. I've not really seen them getting picked. And so they're kind of the team I'm going to have rounding it out. So I've completely disregarded South America, but I think their stats are inflated. I think they've been playing domestic competition. I'm not reading any of the South American teams. I think Amcal had their moment, too inconsistent. Koi, maybe something there. I think 9Pandas barely got through. I know they had a great performance at the Last Chance qualifier and eliminated some favorite teams, but I don't think that's enough to get me excited. I'm feeling good about these. I really want to know what you think. As usual, let me know your pick'ems. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of my spicy takes. And of course, make sure you follow because I will be taking you on the diamond coin journey all here every week.